Hello and welcome into the Detroit City Fieldhouse for Detroit City FC's final home match of the 2024 Premier Arena Soccer League season. I am Jarrett Mackey alongside David Dwayhe. Dave, it's been 4 games, 4 sellouts. We're making it 5 out of 5 tonight. What do you think we'll see out of these two squads this evening?
I think we're going to see a great little local battle here. Players are going to be familiar with one another, very familiar in some cases. Some of these players play together in the off-season. And, I think it's everything to play for. Amazing atmosphere already. And I'm sure we're going to see a lot of energy in the first couple minutes of play as the players kind of work themselves into the environment.
We were kind of talking, before going live. It's kind of sad that this is the last one for us. We've had so much fun here all season at the Detroit City Fieldhouse, bringing this game to you guys at home and watching the crowds kind of build their way up over the course of the season. And it's kind of unfortunate, the homestand at least comes to an end this evening.
Yeah, a bit of asymmetry in the schedule with all the home games in the beginning and then kind of going on the road for the next month or so. I'm really going to miss it. It's been a pleasure, and looking forward to one last game here to cheer on these ladies.
Detroit City FC underway. Heard the referee blow the whistle, and now we are moving here at the Fieldhouse. Detroit City FC almost immediately applying pressure in the middle of the park. You mentioned the asymmetry, in the schedules. Detroit City FC 5 home games and then 5 away games over the next couple of weeks. I believe the season goes until about March 16th, and then playoffs the first weekend of April down there in Cincinnati. So stay tuned for Detroit City FC socials to see how those matches go. That one's going to be poked away at the last second by Shriver before Detroit City FC has their first chance of possession of the evening. That one's going to go up into the air, and there's a little bit of miscommunication right there. Who's going to rush out to get that one eventually put into the net by Shriver. You'll notice the skeleton with the sickle back. It wasn't here last week.
I was going to say, I don't remember it from last week. It's almost like it needed, it was sitting out.
And of course, last week, Detroit City FC knocking off the 4-time national championship winning Cincinnati Sirens. One of the better games I've ever witnessed the Detroit City FC team play is
sure.
La Rouge here on the break. It's going to be Bella Sabo. Going to get on the end of this one. Sabo going to cut it back inside to Fatima Nasser. Nasser with her back to goal. Going to try to spin out of some trouble there. Unable to do so. Retained by Melissa Kinn and Shriver, that duo for Detroit City FC. Shriver's going to blast that one forward comfortably off her line just a little bit, but maybe a miss kick out of her.
Good track from Lema.
Lamanali look confident on the ball as we see some movement out wide. Full Rouge, the ball is going to come over the top for Sabo, Fatima Nasser stepping into some space. Now on the ball, scored a beautiful goal last time out against Cincinnati. That one's going to come off the wall for Amanda Britton.
I was talking to Fatima before the game. I said, I'm still thinking about that fake, that step over, and really, really classy goal and a perfect time for City as they managed to defeat the very, very high-level Cincinnati Sirens last week.
And you can almost call it 4 national championships in a row that Cincinnati won. They won 2, took a break because of COVID, and then, won 1 more. So that's been big for Detroit City FC this week, knowing that you can knock off not only a great soccer team but a great arena soccer league. That's got to give them some confidence heading into the second half of the season.
For sure. And I think the way they did it, it wasn't a lucky win. They were methodical in their approach. They stuck to their game plan. They executed really well. And they really played Cincinnati off the field over stretches of that game. And I think as good as Cincinnati looked at times, City was in control. And they really won that game kind of with some resoluteness that was so impressive, and they'll take a lot of confidence from.
Yeah, Detroit City FC was in that match the entire time. Only maybe a third quarter, a little bit of a drop-off. They had it for the rest of the quarters, rest of the time. Detroit City FC was in the fight and willing to prove that they belong in this league at this level.
Yep.
As Detroit City FC is going to retain possession. Quick shout out to everyone tuning in this evening on YouTube to check out tonight's local contest, Detroit Waza versus Detroit City FC. That one's eventually going to find its way back to Shriver. Going to leave it for McCarthy. Played out wide to Tatiana Mason as she has Kayla Addison in her sights for the first time, but it goes to McCarthy. McCarthy finds Hannah Crum out wide. Hannah Crum now running into some space. Has Kayla Addison with her. Hannah Crum cuts inside. The shot comes in and poked away at the last possible second. Detroit City FC, though, creating the first dangerous opportunity of the match.
Yeah, that's what City wants, that numbers up break, 3-on-2. Shannon McCarthy, a great player to kind of spearhead that effort. She played a very smart pass through to Hannah Crum, and they were unlucky not to score there.
Kayla Addison's going to get onto this one as Shannon McCarthy went to the ground. Kayla Addison cutting inside, had Crum up with her, able to poke it over to Crum. Crum's going to play it back, tried to find Addison, poked out again at the last possible second, and back to Mia Romeo. Mia Romeo finds Mason. Mason has Addison and Crum in a more advanced position. A really good tackle there to get the ball off Mason, but the follow-up wasn't really there, so it stays with Detroit City FC. All the way back to Romeo. Detroit City FC able to dictate play for the first time this evening. Kayla Addison's going to receive it. Tried to do a little bit of a clever poke through the legs there to find McCarthy, but now Waza's going to break down the other end. 3-on-2 situation. That one's going to bounce up against the boards, but still controlled by the visitors down on that far end in the corner. Referee smartly gets out of the way of that one. Did we hear anything about the 2 blue card thing?
No.
No. Okay.
No. I'm gonna look into that.
Because that's. I mean, if we see it tonight, then we know there's sort of a pattern that exists.
Yeah. Actually, I did hear from one of the refs something to the effect of like, we really wanted to make sure we got those right on the accumulation fouls, and maybe they were both so eager to make sure they had it right. That was his point.
Fatima Nasser, a great run through the middle here. Maybe just a little bit of a mistouch by her. Bella Sabo is going to get on the ball back into the match this evening. Fatima Nasser's going to cut to the cross. And nearly it was Amanda Britton, I believe.
Can't really. Yep, that's Amanda.
Amanda Britton.
That sign that
Singh Innovations, Detroit City Distillery, so graciously supporting the team this season. Shout out to them.
Oh,
a great ball over the top. Amanda Britton nearly got onto that one. It's going to be cleared away by the Waza goalkeeper.
Oh, here comes Waza. That was a great ball through from Megan Miles, getting her head up, finding Amanda. Great run and great pass.
And in many games this year, Megan Miles has sort of been the unsung hero, I felt at times. Like the work ethic, the passion, for the squad, and also the acumen on the pitch has been there every single match, every single minute for Megan Miles. She's been on the field.
Well said. Great vocab word, by the way.
Acumen?
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I quit my job at Office Max to study for the SAT when I was in. That shot's going to come in, and so I had like one of those SAT Hot 100 books.
Yeah, well, it was worth it.
Sat there.
It's worth it. Look at the rewards are obvious.
Clearly. I mean, clearly things are going great. That one's going to come up against the boards, back into the hands of Shriver. They still push the SAT like big? Is it still like?
Yeah, I mean, as someone who's in the high school world, standardized tests are still very much a thing, and the tutoring and the prep classes, there's a whole industry around it.
It is like more. It feels like an industry. That shot's gonna come in for Claire Serlino, and that was a great save. A great strike from distance from Serlino, but also a great save from the visiting Naomi Tartrov. In net for the visitors. Tried to find Sabo on that occasion. It's going to bounce up and over, but Sabo does well to get over to that one before Tartrov gets it back into her hands. And
good effort. That almost fell nicely for Amanda Britt.
Nearly. Just couldn't really get a touch on that one. So Waza has, a second to maybe catch their breath just a little bit. That one's going to go up and out of play. Saw the referee sort of do the false start symbol. I'm not sure what that is.
I'm trying to figure that one out. Now, I'm wondering if that call was for – okay. They're placing it where it would go if it's in the netting.
Okay. But we both saw the false start.
And I wondered.
Serlino's shot comes in, and Kayla Addison just unable to really read where it was at her feet right there. Otherwise, that's a goal for Detroit City FC.
I was wondering if maybe the call was that they played it back to their goalie for a second time, because remember we've seen that before, but I think it was just because it hit the netting.
True.
So many possibilities.
Serlino's going to spread play out wide. Just a little bit of a mistouch there from Kayla Addison. Fatima Nasser doing a great job applying the pressure. That one's going to bounce up and nearly go out of play, but still stays in the pitch. It's going to be Addison that's going to be applying pressure. Sort of in the middle of the park, Detroit City FC playing sort of a 3-2 with Gabby Shriver back there in net. Fatima Nasser applying the pressure. That one, you can see we saw the goalkeeper with the visible frustration right there. Kayla Addison's played through. Kayla Addison, a great touch and a shot. A great save. Maybe a little bit outside of her area right there.
Yeah. But did she use her foot, though?
It was definitely the body. Kayla Addison in front of goal. Once again, that shot's going to come in and just wide from Addison. Has 7 goals on the season out of the 4 matches so far for Detroit City FC.
Seeing City put on a little bit of pressure here that they haven't been able – I mean, I think they're kind of turning the screws at this point, really starting to –
That one's going to come all the way across. It's going to be set up here. The shot's going to come in, the right-footed effort. Didn't really need to make a save there, but you see Detroit City FC going with confidence every single shot that comes in, and they know this is probably how this game's going to go, able to dictate play and choose, how this game's going to go.
Yeah, and I think you're starting to see here a good example, something we talked about last week. Waza kind of bunkered in right now defensively. Really difficult to make a change. You never want, the rule number 1 of arena soccer, you don't want to sub when your team is defending. And
Shannon McCarthy, top of the area. Shannon McCarthy's going to poke it in. But Detroit City FC, and then you mentioned, what you were just saying could happen right here. Waza has some space and numbers up the pitch.
Yep, and they're being, you saw about 3 or 4 Waza players make the change as soon as they broke out. But, the player that's on the ball couldn't really afford to do that. So sometimes it's tough to get off the field.
All the way back out to the top of the area. The right-footed effort's going to come in. A great save by Shriver. Unable to collect it, though. A little bit too much speed on it. Shriver again is going to be off of her line. The shot's going to be poked away at the last possible second. A great job there by tonight's starter in the back line, Melissa Kinn, to clear the danger for Detroit City FC. But now up the other end of the pitch, Shannon McCarthy tried to find Bella Sabo.
There's a great look from Shannon McCarthy there. Almost.
Great job going to ground there as well, but it's going to stay with the visitors.
It's been a good contest.
Definitely been a great contest. A lot of, it's good when the team that we're talking for is playing well. I think they've done that so far on this occasion. But they've also generated a lot of chances here for only having been 9 minutes of action so far this evening.
Yeah, remember that. I think we're getting a timeout here.
Timeout between the two sides. Yep.
The first week that we watched a game together, a lot of our conversation was around sort of the differences between arena soccer and outdoor soccer. And one thing I just came to appreciate, we haven't really had a break in the action in the first 9 minutes. It's been pretty much nonstop, and the players out there are not getting much of a break. So,
yeah, only one stoppage of play I can remember when the ball went up and out of play. We saw the referee do the false start hand signal. Now we got a timeout. You were mentioning, Dave, you kind of have a special – you're aware of one of the players on Detroit Waza's roster. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't caught her on the field yet, but Anya Dow, a former University Liggett School soccer star and outstanding math student as well. I can vouch for that.
I'm sure her parents are going to appreciate that.
Yeah. Awesome young woman, and excited to see her taking the field tonight.
Mackenzie Ruber, also a name familiar to some from Detroit City FC's roster last season.
Yep, Mackenzie, a recent graduate of Bowling Green University, fantastic outside back. Played a few seasons with when our women were in the UWS, and then most recently last season with the W League team. She's outside back for Waza tonight.
And her father, Craig Ruber, an employee at Stellantis. Stellantis. My dad, John Mackey, my father, works with her father. And when we announced her last year, he texted me, he goes, I work with her dad. And he was so fired up about that, and so I had to squeeze that in. Not really. There was never going to be an easy time on the broadcast.
We're going above and beyond on the player profiles here.
Yeah, they're not ready for the knowledge that we have.
Yeah, we are dropping some serious background on players who are on the opposing team.
Glad we got that out of the way. I don't have to worry about that for the rest of the game.
Yeah, because that would have been tricky to work in. But look,
because now I feel like it's such a perfect time.
Yeah,
and now perfect on the ball was Mackenzie Ruber, number 7 right there. Yep. So great timing from us. Hannah Crumb's going to run into some space. It looks like a 4v1 situation.
Good
Crumb's going to lay it off for Romeo. Romeo back inside, a great save. A little bit outside of her area, I felt like.
Can appreciate the speed of Mia Romeo, that overlapping run, bombed down the right flank there. Got herself into a great position. Great little dish from Hannah Crum, and nice save from the goalkeeper.
McCarthy now assessing the options, has Serlino and Nasser in front of her. Shriver all the way back if she wants it. Elects to go for Shriver. Shriver's pointing forward, going to blast that one into some space. Hannah Crum smartly going to watch it go off of the boards.
Ooh.
A really clever ball there from Hannah Crum. It comes to nothing, but still the idea of it there was really impressive. Sabo's going to run over to do some work. Nasser just unable to really corral it. McCarthy's going to be the one that gets to it. Nasser's going to get a touch inside here from the position she scored in last week. Nasser, a great job to maintain possession, but a 3v1, hard to come out the other end of that.
Yep.
But still wins it back. And, every time you watch her play, it's unbelievable. And Hannah Crum plays it across off of the boards, and it's loose out in front.
Wow. That was
in hockey, you kind of see him crash the net. We saw that right there on display at the Detroit City Fieldhouse. 10 minutes gone in this first quarter of action. Detroit City FC, the one asking all of the questions this evening. Serlino now in advance, more advanced than she usually is. A little bit of an extracurricular right there between her and Mackenzie Ruber.
It's going to be a good battle tonight. Both very pacey players with a lot of intensity in their game.
Good job by Megan Miles there to get that ball eventually over to Hannah Crum. Detroit City FC probing now. Tatiana Mason's on the ball in a deeper position than she usually finds herself in, but with someone who's that technical on the ball and that gifted when passing the ball, never really a bad option for her to be on it.
Yeah, I was talking to Detroit City FC coach Danny Evans not long ago about just sort of general indoor, thinking. And, the one thing she mentioned was Tatiana as a player that you want her on the ball. And if that means she's got to step back and kind of bring it out from the back line once in a while, so be it. I think she's a player that they really want to get it on her foot as much as possible. She's going to quarterback things, and good things are going to happen.
That shout out got a thumbs up from John Mackey.
Oh, nice.
That's all the info I get.
Yeah.
So that's good enough. Take that. A really good ball down the channel by Kayla Addison. Looking for Tatiana Mason, just not really enough speed, capable there to get on that one. It's going to be eventually cleared up in a way. But now Waza has some numbers forward. They're in Detroit City FC's final fourth of the pitch. A great ball inside and then back outside up against the boards.
Number 18, Anya Dow, getting some touches in. Well done, Anya.
Both people we've talked about so far being members, parts of this game. A great turn there by Kayla Addison running into space. Kayla Addison's going to play it across. Amanda Britton, right-footed effort. 1-0 Detroit City FC. A great run there by Kayla Addison. An even better ball across. And get this, an even better finish by Amanda Britton. 1-0 DCFC.
That was just a great team goal, and like you said, it just kept getting better. The quality of each moment improved, and the left-footed finish from Amanda Britton, just a cherry on top. What a goal, and well-deserved for Detroit City FC.
That's executing on the really simple stuff at a really high level. You know, the run forward from Addison. The most impressive part of that goal, and it won't be included, was that turn from Addison right in the midfield.
Yep.
Did really well to show off the strength, the skill on the ball, to turn her defender, and then that opened the floodgates for Detroit City FC.
Yep, and I think we talked about it last week. Kayla Addison just kind of doing everything for her team. She's been a fantastic contributor with goals and assists.
Waza now, that one's going to be poked away wide. Yeah, Kayla Addison, coming into this match, had 7 goals scored for Detroit City FC, and I think you were about to say when she was running through, is she going to shoot it or pass it? And the quality that she has,
yep,
I think either would have resulted in a goal.
For sure, and she's looking to get her teammates involved, and I think there she really did a nice job waiting that extra second, drawing the Waza defender, drawing that double team, and as soon as the player shifted, she found Amanda, and it gave Amanda that extra second to set her feet well and hit the shot that she hit. And I was also going to mention the way Kayla Addison's tracking back defensively. Last week we saw it a lot. I mean, she's really doing everything for her team, and the players around her are running off of her knowing she's going to give up the ball. It's a great thing when you've got that kind of selflessness from your target forward.
Really impressive job there by Bella Sabo to maintain possession for Detroit City FC. She was kind of up against it in a physical battle, but did well to retain possession. Fatima Nasser is going to do some pressing before slipping on the ground just a little bit. Plays really in the ball into space to find nobody. Lemon Nolly on the ball, going to play it forward and looks for Coleman, but Sabo was the first one to wake up for that one. Sabo's going to take the shot. It's going to go off of the board. It made its way past the Waza keeper, but not really on target. That was nearly friendly fire right there.
Hey, easy. Well, and that's the result of a great double team. Fatima Nasser realizing the opportunity there to step in and create a little bit of extra pressure, and as the result, City get a good free kick in a good area.
Shannon McCarthy gets that one back. McCarthy, it was dipping a little bit,
ball.
but McCarthy's still on it. A great header. Sabo now. Still Detroit City FC. We see that was.
I think that's a penalty.
That's got to be a penalty.
Foul. It's a hair pull.
You can't.
In the box.
You can't do that.
Can't do that in the box. I think that's going to be a penalty kick.
I'm shocked that's not a blue card because that was definitely a pull to the ponytail right there.
I think he's going to say no wall. Well, I don't know the rule on this. I mean, it's a foul inside the box, but it looks like it's top of the arc. Let's see what they cook up here.
That is interesting. That one shot's going to come in. Tatiana Mason was up to it. This is a rough and tumble game so far. Great ball over the top from the goalkeeper. Eventually put away by Mason, and we see it picking up just a little bit.
Yep.
Shannon McCarthy tried to do the 1-2 there. She had Sabo on this side, but she was always looking at Mason on that occasion, and intensity's picking up a little bit here at the Fieldhouse.
Yeah, for sure. It's good. This is what City want. They want to be in a battle. They want to deal with an intense environment, and Waza have made it a very good game thus far, very even. If we've proven anything this season, we don't know what the standard is for a penalty. Yeah. That shot, Mia Romeo is going to be in front of it. Lays it off from McCarthy. McCarthy unable to really strike it clean. We don't know the standard or what has to happen for there to be a penalty. That was a foul inside of the box. Yep.
It was taken back 2 dots, and I'm shocked we didn't really see a blue card for that because it was off the ball. I don't think the referee saw it. If they saw what we saw, then that's a blue card all day.
I think we had the better view of it.
Sort of a pull to the ponytail. I still can't believe that. As McCarthy's going to get this one out of danger for DCFC, but a really great poke away. Kayla Addison sort of making a diagonal run at it.
She's going to hunt this one down.
Really clever ball off of the wall right there from the visiting goalkeeper. It's going to fall to Crum, though. Hannah Crum's going to play in Tatiana Mason. Tatiana Mason back to Crum. Crum stepping inside
Nice.
and then stepping back outside against Mackenzie Ruber. Hannah Crum, the shot's going to come in. Kayla Addison in front of the goal. Kayla Addison just a little bit wide. Tatiana Mason on it again. Tried to find Addison, just unable to do so. Played away by the visitors, who don't really have numbers forward. Sort of a catch your breath and regroup moment, but not, I guess the message wasn't received there by the visitors. Going down the other end.
Mackenzie
McCarthy's
Ruber.
going to blast it away against the glass. Ooh, and that's going to be a foul, and that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter here at the Detroit City Fieldhouse.
That happened fast.
It was so fast.
I didn't even realize that was about to happen. Just to give a shout out there, Hannah Crum getting it done on both sides. What an effort.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back even faster from the Detroit City Fieldhouse for the second quarter of action between Detroit City FC and Detroit Waza FC. Welcome back to Detroit City Fieldhouse. Detroit City FC looking good with a 1-0 advantage over Detroit Waza after one quarter of play. Dave, we saw them dictate play in that whole first quarter. I think we'll see more of the same in the second here.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those situations for City where you kind of hope that if you just keep doing what you've been doing, the floodgates will open. They've created a lot of really good chances, a lot of flurries in the Waza box. Hasn't led to a ton of goals. They got one for their efforts, and they're in a good spot here, but I think they're going to look to really break it open in the second period.
Detroit City FC coming back onto the pitch for the second quarter. We're seeing a ton of great support here.
It's awesome. It's disco night. If you can't tell from home, it's disco night.
It is disco night here at the Detroit City Fieldhouse.
Players getting ready to kick off here, starting the second quarter.
Tonight's goal scorer, Amanda Britton, down there on the pitch.
It's going to look to add to that tally.
Lemonali. Playing it across to Claire Serlino.
You know, I'm looking out at the crowd, Mackie. I think everybody's having fun here.
It's hard not to.
It's like every single person, even on the
that one's going to come all the way. I thought
That's a
Fatima
nice
Nasser was going to get that one. It didn't really look like much from where we were standing, but it was clearly a great opportunity, and my voice got a little bit higher
That's okay.
than usual.
As it should.
Well, that's how good of a chance it was.
Here's
But
a
now
2-on-1.
the visitors have a chance here. Lemonali's going to have some important work to do. That one's poked out wide. Shriver just unable to really get control of it. Not really able to clear it away was Amanda Britton. That one's going to come all the way out. A header out of danger from Lemonali. A great job by Fatima Nasser to knock it past through the boards, but nothing really going on there on that occasion.
Pressure that. She's going to pick it up.
Fatima Nasser is going to get to it. She has Bella Sabo up with her.
What
All
a
the way,
ball.
Amanda Britton. That one's going to
Yes.
be played in, and it's 2-0. Detroit City FC. Once again, Amanda Britton goes out there and gets it done.
What a ball from Fatima Nasser. What a finish. Cool, composed finish from Amanda Britton using the inside of her right to just slot it home. It's exactly what you want to do in that situation. You got the goalie beat. You just got to beat her to the spot.
And, you know, on broadcast, those goals will look easy because both of them, they've sort of been an empty net situation.
Yep.
But the ball to get to the cross is difficult. And then the finish, while it is an empty net, you kind of got to, you strike it in a way that doesn't go too close to the keeper or with how small these goals are anywhere but the back of the net.
Yeah, and there's a lot of factors. You know, the way you got to position yourself, the recovering defender, you got to worry about them diving in. I think Amanda Britton's made both look easy, like you said, but not easy finishes by any means, and she's handled them both very, very well.
In the first couple minutes, we did see the visitors kind of, you know, able to compact themselves and kind of stifle out some of Detroit City FC's attacks. But now really Detroit City FC's turning on the pressure. A great job there by Megan Miles. Megan Miles is going to go for the effort, just sort of a little bit too light on that occasion. That one's going to bounce up. I don't think the referee's going to think that one goes out and warrants a free kick. But nonetheless, Detroit City FC retains possession. A 2-on-1 right there. It's going to come back to Miles.
Dug out well by Katie Coleman.
Miles is going to try to find Kayla Addison there, unable to really get her in the position that, you know, we've seen her have so much success this season. So a good job by the visiting defense. Megan Miles is going to have some work to do. A great gut-busting run there from Mia Romeo is going to be played across. And we mentioned the run, the work ethic to be there, and then she gets to poke it away, too, at the very end.
Yep. Yeah, the City players continue to just really work. I mean, I think that's one thing that's been a theme in all the games that we've been fortunate enough to watch. It's just like they're playing every minute like it's their last. They're pressuring every ball, and they're not letting up, whether they have the lead, whether they're chasing it. Gabby Shriver's going to find Addie here.
Yeah, we've seen that work a couple times for Detroit City FC. Kayla Addison's going to have a chance here. Kayla Addison pokes it home, and it's 3-0 for Detroit City FC. Kayla Addison makes it 3-0, and 2 quick-fire goals for Detroit City FC.
And give an assist to the goalkeeper. Gabby Shriver picking her head up, seeing Addie kind of wide open in the offensive fourth, and all she had to do is drop it in there as well as she did, and Kayla Addison did the rest.
And I said, you know, the first 2 goals weren't that easy, despite looking easy. I think we can say that one was a little easy.
Yeah, I mean, the hard part was done up front, right? But the finish was a sure thing. Ooh,
Shannon McCarthy again being taken out right there on that occasion. We're kind of seeing you kind of wonder if frustration's going to set in for the visitors as the score keeps going up.
For sure. Yeah, I think that, you know, it's just a good example of Shannon McCarthy. One thing she does especially well is she wins the spot. She kind of knows where the ball's going to be. She gets her body there, and as a result, she gets fouled a lot from players that are trying to make a late play.
Crum now on the ball. A great turn back inside. Crum's going to play it across. The keeper's not really able to collect it.
See City really just keeping the pressure on at this point, maintaining possession in the Waza end.
Detroit City FC still kind of enjoying their stay in Waza's fourth of the pitch. Played across. Shannon McCarthy's going to get it back to Crum. Crum's going to play it across to Sabo. Sabo now, the shot comes in. And just wide on that occasion, but all the way back out to Crum. Crum's going to try to play it back into the mixer. Sabo's going to be the one that gets over to it. Back to Crum. Crum looking up and elects to go back to Shannon McCarthy. McCarthy now.
A little bit of a half-court offense going here for City. They're just being patient.
Back to McCarthy. McCarthy's going to lay it off. He's going to go all the way wide to Claire Serlino. Serlino's going to play it back into the middle before being cleared out by Waza. Nearly a touch in there. But Shannon McCarthy has some tracking back to do, some defensive action to make here. And Serlino, look at that run to come all the way back, and that one's not even really going to bother Shriver too much. Amanda Britton off the boards on a hat trick already. Just 11 minutes to go in this second quarter, the first half of action here at the Fieldhouse. Thank you to everyone tuning in on tonight's broadcast.
Yeah, hey, everybody.
last one of the year. I keep saying it because I want to come to peace with the idea that we're done for the year.
No, I don't want it to like sneak up on us. We got to remind ourselves that it's happening. But we'll enjoy what's left here. Plenty of game in front of us.
That one's going to go all the way out wide. I believe that's Megan Miles on that occasion.
Oh, what a
one,
come
back to Miles. The
Miles
shot's going to come in.
Wow.
And Detroit City FC scores their fourth. It's number 17, Megan Miles. We've talked about her contribution all season, how she's kind of been the unsung hero, and there she gets her goal.
Yep, and I think that was just a great example of the way these women are starting to learn the indoor game. An awesome combination, Megan Miles to Amanda Britton. Beautifully weighted return pass from Amanda, tucked away really clean from Megan Miles. I mean, that's just like a quality goal right there. There's not much you can do to stop that.
And, you know, we talked about how this is the way this game is kind of going to go. And at first it was difficult for Detroit City FC to be able to, you know, break that dam of getting the first goal. But now that they've gotten that, truly the floodgates have been open in the second quarter.
Yeah, I think you see them playing with a little less, you know, in the first part of the game it's a little tight and you're a little anxious and things aren't quite coming off. And now that they got those goals under their belt, I think they're playing that little bit of relaxation helps such a tremendous amount. It allows you to do what we're seeing them do. They're playing such good soccer, such good team soccer, and gives you the confidence to make the run that Megan Miles just made. And those are leading to goals. They're really benefiting from their approach. And
Detroit City FC has been really, you know, I kind of think ever since that moment where there was sort of a physical nature added to the game, I feel like since then Detroit City FC was like, all right, we'll get on the front foot and we'll show you how good we are.
Yeah, sometimes you need a little punch in the face to wake you up and get you going, and I think that's exactly what happened through much of the first quarter.
Detroit City FC looking good at 4-0. We see the bench there. Head coach Danny Evans doing a little bit of coaching. Her and Mia Romeo with Shannon McCarthy. McCarthy's going to come back in, and Danny Evans is going to take her seat. And she's got the best view in the house right now.
It's nice. She gets to stand up, see the game. She deserves it, though. She's working hard.
The whole squad deserves it.
Yeah, they've been awesome.
Back out here, Detroit City FC out of the timeout, out of the goal to the timeout. You kind of get a good coaching opportunity there.
Yep.
Waza's going to get this game back underway with 10.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter, the first half of play. And if you're them, you kind of need a lifeline right now to avoid this one getting out of hand in a bad way for them.
Yeah, I think they got to settle in a bit because
Mason's going to play in. Kayla Addison poked away at the last possible second. Great job there by the defender. Fatima Nasser's going to fight and stay up for this one. It's going to go the way of Detroit City FC, and we can see the frustration on the visiting team.
Yeah, and I think if if they can harken back to the way they approached the first quarter, obviously, the deficit now it changes things a bit. But if they can play with the kind of defensive organization and intensity that they were able to demonstrate in the first quarter, I think they can work their way back in. But right now, City are flying high, and it's a little tougher than it was in the beginning of the game.
All the way back to Megan Miles. I spot Jackson Collis in the chat. Excuse me. She gave us a little bit of a. That one's gonna pause play here for a quick second.
Oh, she's okay.
I think that was just sort of an awkward.
Yeah, I think she almost fell into the Waza player. There's no foul there. It was just really awkward fall, and I think she's good.
Good to get her back up immediately. Talking to the trainer, of course.
Yeah, whipped into the Waza player.
And she wants to play on, which the crowd's gonna love that.
She's good.
And yeah, like I said, no malice there, no intent. It was just awkward. I think when you just awkward falls into each other.
Yeah, and I think what happened there, it's happened to me plenty of times playing indoor soccer. I think you catch a toe in the turf and your body just goes. It's almost like when you catch an edge in skiing or skating.
I skated for the first time the other day. That was awesome.
How was it?
It was good. I went to Cold Hearted down at Clark Park.
Nice.
Little Valentine's Day.
I hear that's a really cool scene.
It was. Me and my girlfriend were a little unsure, and then we got there and had a great time.
Awesome.
I've never skated before. I used one of those walkers, and it was something. But I had such a fun time. I want to go ice skating again soon.
You should. Skating's great.
But I was delighted. I never rollerbladed, never anything like that. So truly my first time skating.
You figured it out?
I don't say I figured it out, but the walker helped, and then I eventually figured out how to do it.
Yeah.
I just wasn't really executing at that high of a level, but I had a blast.
Good. Well, I'm sure your learning curve is going to be a short one.
Exponential, yeah. I'm happy my first time wasn't at Campus Martius. That would have been tough. All the pressure and
there's
how
a lot of eyes on
you. Yeah. But no, it was a great. I had a blast. I really did.
Good.
Waza now looking to get things going and kind of claw one back here, down 4-0 with 9 minutes to play in the first half. Ball's going to be played down the line. Serlino looks like she has this one covered or at least engaged with.
Good hard run from number 18, Anya Dow.
Great math student.
Great math student. She did the calculus of change there. Ooh, what a ball.
A
from
great
Gabby
ball
Shriver.
over the top. Britton's looking for a hat trick, but poked away at the last second. Still alive by Britton. That one's going to be played all the way across, unable to find Katie Coleman. They're going to go to ground after a little collision, but Detroit City FC still on the attacking foot. Lemonala is going to have a right-footed effort, and that one was curving from what we could see up here.
That's a nice little piece of play from Lemma. She got herself a little bit of space, hit a nice clean shot for a defender. She's got to feel good about that. And she will get her goal. We talked the other day, and she's feeling like it's never going to come. But I think the way she plays and her forays forward have shown that she's capable of getting on the end of one.
A good ball over the top there. Unable to connect on that occasion. Now Detroit City FC kind of has numbers yet again. Bella Sabo's going to run up. She has Amanda Britton up with her. Sabo's going to go outside. The left-footed strike. Beat the goalkeeper, but didn't beat the center back, but still Detroit City FC looking to add a fifth. That one's going to fall kindly before coming back. That one's going to come in. A great save by the visiting goalkeeper, but still alive for DCFC. Another save is made. And it's been on multiple occasions Detroit City FC have been in a 2-on-1 situation. That's the best the visitors have dealt with it so far.
They did. That was a nice track back from that second Waza defender and a really nice couple saves from the keeper to keep him in it. But you don't want to miss the opportunity to praise Amanda Britton's passing. I mean, that last little outside of the foot through ball she played, she's really kind of picking the Waza defense apart.
Sabo out wide. It's going to come all the way back. McCarthy's going to go for it. It's still alive for Detroit City FC. Looks like Sabo's going to
nice little poke.
Go all the way back to the edge of the area to get this one out. Kin's going to play it across the back line. It's going to be blasted all the way forward, nearly up into the boards, but a little bit of a missed kick on that occasion. Katie Coleman's going to run this one down, letting it go off the boards before playing it all the way back to Shriver in goal. Shriver's assessing the options. It likes to go forward.
Almost found Tatiana Mason.
Almost found Tatiana Mason. We've seen that work on a couple occasions for LaRouge, and, I mean, you're not beating Shriver from that distance.
No. And Gabby's distribution, I mean, it's been consistently this way, but tonight I think we've really seen some of her, some of the finer passes she's played this season. She's really well able to spring the attack with these long balls from her position.
Detroit City FC now building out of the back. Once again, we've seen them be really comfortable with that so far this season.
Nice
Shannon
pass.
McCarthy's going to play it off, and a little bit of a collision there in the box. Sabo unable to get to it, but still kept alive by Detroit City FC. Sabo now played across. Hannah Crum is going to go forward. Hannah Crum on the rebound.
Wow,
Referee's going to give the goal.
Great
Hannah Crum adds the 5th goal of the evening. And Hannah Crum denied the first time, but on the second occasion follows in to make it 5-0.
Good persistence from Hannah Crum there, and a great sequence of passes. It's easy to forget about them because the first shot didn't go in, but what a sequence of 1- and 2-touch play from Detroit City FC to spring Hannah Crum. Great second effort from her to put the second shot away.
And while Waza was resolute in that first quarter, the second quarter has kind of been their undoing so far. 4 goals for Detroit City FC in it, and we just passed the halfway mark.
Yep. Yeah, it's a tough hill to climb at this point if you're Waza, but hey, a lot of game in front of you and every reason to keep going. Keep your foot on the gas.
Detroit City FC back underway. Detroit City FC now. Mia Romeo's going to bust forward. That one's going to come in. A great save.
Nice hit.
Back all the way across. Mia Romeo just unable to corral that one. It's going to come off of the boards and sort of a miss. I think she lost where it was in relation to her foot right there.
Yep.
But still alive by the most recent goal scorer, Hannah Crum. All the way back out to Romeo. Now Tatiana Mason, top of the year. Tatiana Mason, right-footed effort blocked away. And Waza's been in this situation where they've had the chance to break and just it's one pass away from not being through on goal, but closer to being through on goal than they've been all night.
Yeah, they got to feel good about the almosts. The almost breaks they've had. They just keep trying. It might break someone through.
And the almost, that's a lot easier to do when it's 0-0 or you kind of lose 1-0. But at 5, you can appreciate those and be happy about them. But look up and it's a reminder of what's not gone well so far. Mason tried to play in Crum right there.
Nice
Great job in the composure to just tap that one away. But Crum now has Addison and Romeo up with her. Likes to go to Romeo. Romeo plays it in for Addison. Addison taking a touch out wide. The left-footed strike from Kayla Addison cleared away, but not fully out of the woods yet. Tatiana Mason. A great job there. Ball control on display from Mason. That one's going to come in.
Seen some really nice one-touch passes from Mia Romeo in the last couple sequences, finding the open player. And here we see her tracking back to get it done on the defensive side as well.
Mia Romeo's always everywhere, able to defend and also be an extra body going forward as well, as Hannah Crumb's going to get to that one first, playing it off the boards. And Megan Miles going to let things breathe just a little bit.
Yeah, no
reason.
rare. Yeah, and, you know, putting your foot on the ball sometimes is very beneficial. Let things develop a little bit. No need to rush it. They've got a great lead right now, and Waza's sitting off a little. Why not give yourself a second to set?
All the way back to Mia Romeo, the furthest back player for Detroit City FC. It's going to be Claire Serlino on that far side driving it. Waza plays it for Kayla Addison. Addison just kind of loses at her feet just a little bit, but does well to get it back. Lemon Nolly was calling for that one upon entering the match. Lemon Nolly's thought she was going to step into a shot and score that goal you were talking about. Lemon Nolly's going to
I'm rooting for her.
Have possession, yeah, and now I am too, now that I know about this conversation.
Yeah.
Fatima Nasser. All the way across to Kayla Addison. Kayla Addison gets a
Ooh,
chance, and it's 6-0. Detroit City FC. Kayla Addison makes it 6-0 with still nearly 4 minutes to play in this second quarter.
And if you wanted evidence that Kayla Addison has fully adapted to the indoor game, look no further than that goal to kind of go against the grain, right-footed toe poke into the corner. Indoor players use that skill so often to get a quick shot off and unsettle the keeper, and she did it to great effect there.
Detroit City FC now still on the ball, but in their own fourth of the pitch. It's just every time Waza's been forward, you don't really see that there's going to be danger coming. They haven't been able to really put a foothold in any concrete chances so far. Lemonali's going to come claim this one ahead of the Shriver, who was making the run forward.
Good look.
Nearly a great job there, but still Detroit City FC. Amanda Britton's going to get onto it. Have Fatima Nasser up with her. Amanda Britton's going to go for it.
Great touch.
Great touch by Nasser to keep it alive. Nasser, the goal-scoring position she was in last week, and be played back to Sabo. Sabo looking to carve out some space for a shot. Back to Serlino. Serlino calmly back to Sabo. Amanda Britton, a great job by Amanda Britton to play that one off the boards. Amanda Britton goes for it, saved by the visiting goalkeeper, and does well to win possession back for her side. That one's going to be played in front. Lemonali looking for it on that occasion. But Waza able to clear their lines for the time being. Claire Serlino showing off that pace that she has to get back and defend this one.
Good footwork from the
and
Waza
not
player.
just pace. I mean, look at that defensive stand right there from Claire Serlino. No matter what the score is, you know, a player starts dribbling in front of you, that could always go either way.
Yeah, and she great patience there defensively, but kind of picked her moment to come in and win it, and shown herself to be a really formidable one-on-one defender.
Fatima Nasser goes for it. It's
look.
not really saved to the best effect, but it eventually falls back to Shayna McCarthy. McCarthy with her back to goal. All the way across and into Sabo, I think that is. Sabo's going to play it for McCarthy. McCarthy trying to open up a lane for the shot. McCarthy eventually had space, just really couldn't get it out of her feet. Great defensive stand there from Detroit City FC. Still with them. Shannon McCarthy going over to the boards to collect this one.
Nicely done.
And played inside. Fatima Nasser unable to corral it too well, to the frustration of Shannon McCarthy, but Nasser does well to win it back. Nasser's going to take the effort to save yet again, and the quickest over to it on this occasion is McCarthy. Shannon McCarthy, just 90 seconds left in this first quarter for Detroit City FC to add a 7th.
Yeah, we just saw a little sequence there from Fatima Nasser where she initially lost the ball and then just immediately hustled it down to win it back. I mean, I think she's done that multiple times in the last few games that we've watched her play. That's an attribute of a really great player. Like, she turns mistakes into successes, and it's been huge.
And right there, called for a foul right there, but, you know, it's arena soccer. It's going to happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's going to be fouls. There will be fouls.
So a free kick now to the visitors, just 71 seconds. I had to do some math.
That was
I
good,
put
though.
11. I had to add 11 to 60, and that's never good when I'm doing math.
Well,
We're at a
no,
bad
I
spot.
think you've nailed it, though.
You're going to see a timeout for the visitors here. Of course, you know, Detroit Waza, a local team, kind of came into this game with a little bit of a roster issue. We had to kind of throw some players in there at the last second. We see some conversations being had between the squad and head coach Dominic Cicluna down there. And, you know, what are you saying to the squad at 6-0 here, still in the first half of play?
Well, you know, if I know Dominic, he's been around the indoor game for a long time. He knows things can change very quickly, and you know, I'm guessing maybe part of his advice. Right? Oh, he's given some specific tactical advice, no doubt, but I'm sure that part of his message is also like, hey, let's finish the half well. Let's not go in any worse than we are, and let's see if we can sneak one and give ourselves a little bit of momentum.
I do like the gradient of that shirt. The blue stops, and the shade of his hat is the same color. So gradient from the bottom all the way to the top. Dominic Cicluna this evening.
Well dressed as always. The man has style.
And the shoes, the pants. I mean, what
the
do we?
whole ensemble
I mean, that's
is working.
unbelievable.
It's working.
That's unbelievable. If you could give goals for your head coach looking sick, it's at least 6-3, 6-4. Right
all of a sudden, it's 6-3, and we got ourselves a real battle.
And then Detroit City FC has a hill to climb.
Yeah.
Back to Waza. Sort of have a free kick opportunity at the edge of the area. That one's going to be played to Ruber. It's going to be eventually cleared away by Detroit City FC. Sabo taking a look over her shoulder. If she was able to look up, she had McCarthy. Just ran out of time right there on that situation. Sabo, really good job to win that one back, seeing as she gave it away. But good to just kind of – you always like to see that, right? When a player gives the ball away and then works incredibly hard to get it back.
Yeah, I think that's like, you know, it's kind of defined City the last couple of weeks. They've really added that element to their game where as soon as they lose it, they're just hounding to get it back and immediately trying to apply pressure to turn a bad thing into a good thing.
That shot's going to come in. We see a goalkeeper change for Detroit City FC.
That's right. We've got Kirsten
Williams
stepping in for Gabby Shriver. Unlucky there from Shannon.
That shot's going to come in, and Williams makes her first save for Detroit City FC.
Kirsten Williams, an alum of Lourdes University, played soccer there, and it's been a welcome addition to the team.
All the way out. Sabo's going to go all the way across, and it's 7-0 Detroit City FC. Sabo for the first time this evening.
Great little dish from Tatiana Mason. And this is exactly what we were talking about in terms of what Waza didn't want. You don't want to give up another goal before halftime. City finding a way on the break there to give themselves a little extra cushion going into halftime.
Not that they needed it necessarily, but you know, arena soccer, crazy things happen.
Yeah, goals help.
And that was a really good note about Kirsten Williams. I saw that when you came in with your notebook today. I saw that one written down right there at the top of the page.
Notes.
Yeah, I mean, it's what it makes every good broadcast. Is Waza's going to look to get something done. Here's the half. Runs out of time. Another great save by Williams. Hope she gets credited for that one.
I hope so,
but might not because it was at the end of the half. So, Detroit City FC, 7-0 over Detroit Waza. It's been a great first half so far. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for half number 2 from the Detroit City Fieldhouse. Welcome back to the Detroit City Fieldhouse for the second half of action between your Detroit City Football Club and Detroit Waza FC. Detroit City FC came out, did what they had to do, and find themselves in a great cushion here to start the second half.
Yep, I think it was a little slow coming at first. They had to get that first goal to kind of, as you said earlier, like break the dam, and ever since it's just been a steady flow of goals, of chances, of flurries in front of the Waza net. And City are really got to be feeling good about the position they've put themselves in.
And, every single goal was earned. We saw a lot of we said they're not easy, and they weren't, but the couple tap-ins, a third tap-in by Kayla Addison, a lot of interesting stuff in that first half of play, and a great way to end the home stretch here for Detroit City FC.
Yep. At this point, I think, in terms of priorities, obviously you want to keep your foot on the gas, but you want to get out of this thing unscathed. No injuries. Don't give up any silly fouls. Don't give the other team any reason to be extra motivated, and see this thing through.
So more of the same on the docket here for the second half of action as the teams kind of talk over their final plans. We saw Kirsten Williams check into the game at the end of that half for Detroit City FC. Amanda Britton, of course, part of that mix as well. She's on a hat trick this evening.
That's right.
I kind of back her to get it if, we got a whole half of football
got a good
to play.
shot. I love that expression, by the way, on a hat trick.
It's so good.
For those of you tuning in, if you're unfamiliar, it's the idea that one more goal gets you that hat trick.
Yeah, and I hope she can take the ball home with her. I don't know what the...
that'd be neat.
Yeah, I don't know what the standards of that is.
I think these soccer balls are Coach Danny Evans is so...
So it's up to her.
It's really up to
it's up to her.
Danny. Danny, if you're listening.
I bet she is.
Yeah,
a little bit of warm-up here going on as Waza still not yet to break the group.
Is that phrase universal to all sports? Like in hockey, do you say someone's on a hat trick? Or is that a soccer thing?
I think it is.
Okay.
It sounds very British, though.
Yeah, it does. You probably don't hear it in
the
sports that aren't as influenced. Right.
So a great first 30 minutes of play. We're still kind of waiting on Waza to come back and get this game underway. Shannon McCarthy's definitely waiting. Thank everyone tuning in tonight. A big sports weekend, and we appreciate that you're spending a slice of that here with us this evening.
Indeed.
Of course, a lot of local basketball going on. This Michigan State happening right now in basketball. So if you're tuned into this broadcast, that's awesome.
Thanks for choosing us.
And they're probably upset that they're having to go against this broadcast. It's going to mess up the ratings on Fox Sports. It's going to be a whole thing.
I'm sure there were meetings at the Big Ten.
Oh, there had to have been.
Who's responsible for this conflict?
A great job there by Chad Aleo to get the ball out from back and throw it into play. So Chad Aleo keeping this game going.
Thanks, Chad. It's well done. I once saw Chad Aleo hit a full field goal in a co-ed game with the staff team that stays with me even today.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome to hear. Hannah Crum's going to run into some space. A goal for her already this evening. Hannah Crum's going to go up against the board. That one's going to fall to Shannon McCarthy. Back out.
Little jump kick volley there from Shannon McCarthy. I enjoyed that.
Very Karate Kid.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen the movie, but I imagine.
Are you serious?
I just, based on I haven't.
Wow.
I've only seen 10 movies in my life.
I urge you to watch it.
And they're never good movies, what I've been hearing. It's been bad. But Shannon McCarthy's going to try to get back on the end of that one after getting up for the header.
I'm a big Karate Kid fan, and I'm a big Cobra Kai fan.
Is that the new one?
That's like the TV sort of spin-off.
Okay. I'm sure people agree with you in the chat.
I hope they will. I'll be curious what the thoughts are. I'm not claiming it's great television, but I think for anyone that kind of grew up with Karate Kid, it's a lot of fun.
It's a good outlet for it?
Yeah.
Nice. That's good.
A lot of nostalgia.
Okay. Keep that in mind. Every time someone tells me to watch a movie, I'll say I'll add it to the list, and there's never going to be a list.
Yeah. It's the polite thing to say, though.
That one's going to come into the path of
Good
Shannon
run.
McCarthy.
Shannon
McCarthy has Hannah
Look
Crum up with her. A great ball across. Hannah Crum has back McCarthy. Leaves it up for Britton. The right-footed strike's going to come in.
Good hit.
On the rebound was Britton. Tried to get it. Going to go off the boards and stay with Detroit City FC. McCarthy and Crum deciding who's going to take ownership of it. McCarthy was stretched out to get that one. A great job there by Amanda Britton.
I enjoyed that. That was cool.
The crowd did not react to that the way they should have. That was awesome by Amanda Britton.
I don't know if they could see it from their angle, but she kind of scooped the ball up, got herself out of trouble.
In between the ankles. That was so cool.
Yeah. There was a Mexican player, Blanco, who used to do that, almost, as a move. And she was reminiscent.
A great job there by Tatiana Mason and Shannon McCarthy. Tatiana Mason now the spoils. Going to go all the way across to Katie Coleman, who re-enters the match for Detroit City FC. Back to Megan Miles. She has a goal this evening as well. A good job, a little fake hesitation there, and a great ball off of the boards, and it was MacArthur that went to ground. The referee's going to say on that occasion there was a foul against LaRouge.
And we saw it on that last break from City, just real selflessness from the City players, making the extra pass, not just trying to create a tap-in, but just trying to set their teammates up for success. It's a game where at this point with the game state where it is, they can afford to do that.
All the way back out for Waza. A really good attempt at gaining repossession there by Katie Coleman.
Great pressure.
Katie Coleman's going to force its way all the way back to the visiting goalkeeper, who's going to play it forward. Kayla Addison now on the pitch for Detroit City FC.
Yeah, you look at what Katie Coleman did there, and then she's come up with the ball again. It's just
the referee's going to say that one was clean, and I think maybe just a little bit too fast there from Katie Coleman. It was sort of a 3-on-1 type deal. That one's going to say it went up and hit the netting, so back to Detroit City FC.
Just the effort she made there to force the Waza player back. If you imagine being that Waza player where you got to take all those extra touches, exert all that extra energy just to get the ball back to your keeper.
Yeah.
And I think that those moments add up over the course of a game. It's it's probably the reason we're seeing a little bit more of a sense of tired legs from the Waza players. City really kind of utilizing every advantage.
Tatiana Mason now going to play it all the way back to Mia Romeo. Mia Romeo assesses before going off the boards to find Miles. Miles in an advanced position. A really good job there by number 4 for the visiting team to get the ball back, and then Megan Miles tried to win it back, and the foul is going to be called against her. But Waza so far the second half, they've been more compact.
Yep. They've
been less adventurous going forward, which then isn't opening the gaps that we saw in the first half, which allowed Detroit City FC to score so many goals.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think you look back at the first quarter, and Waza was in a much more defensive stance. They started to open up in the second quarter, and that's where City sort of were able to take advantage.
Shot's going to come in.
Nice.
Shriver was extended, able to get to that one. I think that one eventually would have evaded the far post, but Shriver wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, to keep this clean sheet.
Nice
Addison
shot.
now running at the defenders. Not something you want to see if you're
Good
part
tackle.
of the Waza back line, but a great tackle there. Going to ground and back up again are the visitors, but Fatima Nasser's going to run over to claim this one for LaRouge. Back to Shriver. And back to Nasser. Nasser looking up, has Romeo up and Addison as well. Looks like Sabo's back into the match, as well as Claire Serlino out wide. It's going to go in the middle to Addison and then poked out one more time to Serlino. Serlino's going to do well to hang on to this one. Serlino's going to go for it. It's going to fall to Bella Sabo. Sabo's going to take a touch inside, unable to corral enough to get a shot off, but all the way back to the keeper, and it's going to be Kayla Addison applying the pressure.
Hold on. Good step
Great
there
job
for
there, Melissa Kin. Bella Sabo now
she's
has
got
Addison up with her, just unable to connect on that occasion. I think Sabo might want that one back. Addison's going to throw a foot at it, but still retained by Waza. Waza running up the other end of the pitch now before cutting back inside. All the way back centrally now are the visitors. Back. Shannon McCarthy re-enters the pitch. That was a dead sprint. I think the door opened, and she just started sprinting before she was even out of the box.
Hit the ground running.
A great ball, over the top McCarthy now into some space. McCarthy creating the space up for Nasser, and if not for that line change, Nasser would have been through on goal. That's a clever line change from the visitors. Nasser, though, is going to apply the pressure and get over to it. A great job to spin out of danger by Fatima Nasser.
Wow. That was so well done. I mean, just in terms of the number of players that were around her and her composure to keep that. Fatima Nasser just showing her class there.
And also showing, the IQ that she possesses as well. Usually in soccer, when we see a player do something that crazy, the shot comes in right after. Shocked we didn't see it on that occasion, but still with Detroit City FC. That shot's going to come in. Amanda Britton knows she can do better than that. We saw the frustration on her face the second that one left the foot. Sabo and Kin kind of involved with the Waza player right there to draw the foul. No blue cards yet this evening.
No, good observation. And in many ways, I'm seeing this first, 5+ minutes of the third quarter, kind of a carbon copy of the first. No goals. City have had the lion's share of the possession, but Waza defending well. And, I think a goal breaks this thing back open. But for now, Waza holding strong.
McCarthy up against the boards, eventually muscled off of it. I think Waza just playing with a little bit more fight than we saw out of them in that first half.
Yeah. Halftime allowed them to regroup for sure.
All the way back to the middle of the pitch. I believe that's Hannah Crum on the ball now for LaRouge. Plays it up for Megan Miles before it's played off back to Crum. Crum in some space now in the middle of the park. That one's going to be played a great spot there to spot the run of Shannon McCarthy. McCarthy's going to flick this one forward. Amanda Britton now has McCarthy with her man all the way across, and Hannah Crum.
What a goal.
A great job by Amanda Britton. Has 2 goals this evening. Plays it all the way across to Hannah Crum.
That was nice. That was really unselfish from Amanda Britton. Great run from Hannah Crum.
And all of that was really impressive. Crum's ball into space to find McCarthy. McCarthy doing well to find Britton. And then Britton recognizing the run from Crum, as well as Crum making the run in the first place to make it 8-0 Detroit City FC.
And that's so hard to defend. Even if you're with Hannah Crum in that situation as a defender for Waza, that ball has been played into such a dangerous area. You're running toward your own goal. You don't want to inadvertently put it in. And, you know, it just only good things can happen for City with a pass like that from Amanda Britton.
And Detroit City FC kind of beginning to feel themselves just a little bit in this second half. You mentioned how resolute Waza was a little bit here at the start as Gabby Schreiber kind of dribbles her way into some danger.
A little foray.
A really good job, though, to realize that she had Lemon Nolly all the way back with her, and great awareness by Nolly to give Schreiber that option. 4A, that's a good one.
Thanks.
That might as well be an SAT Hot 100
I appreciate
word.
it. I think Acumen is currently in the lead,
I
though,
appreciate that.
for best
Not often.
term of the day. Vocab.
Vocab's important.
It is.
Like, no joke.
It
Like,
matters.
seriously.
It matters a lot.
I don't know when I'll use the word acumen again. Honestly, Dave, I don't even know where that came from.
Well,
it just can't. I was going through the Rolodex of words I know, and acumen just popped up.
I'll tell you this. From my understanding of the word and the context in which you used it, spot on.
Okay, brag a little bit. I was really good at the MEP in elementary school, and I think that's where it came from.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Played all the way across. Shriver's going to get down to it. I miss the MEP. Part of me misses the MEP.
Yeah, those tests were kind of fun.
Is it still called the MEP?
Now there's a thing called the NWEA. I wonder if that's replaced the MEP. MEP might still be a thing.
It better be.
I love the word MEP.
I know. That's really all it is.
It's fun. Let's keep saying it.
That's really all it is.
Let's keep saying it.
And it made sense. Like, Michigan Educational Assessment Program. Like,
look at that.
I mean, yeah.
You've broken down the
Kayla Addison threw on goal. Kayla Addison has shot another chance at it here. Tried to poke it forward. It's going to fall to Katie Coleman. Coleman again. And that one's going to come all the way back to Mia Romeo. Romeo's going to have an effort. And 4 huge saves there from the visiting goalkeeper to avoid the score going to 9-0.
That was a nice little flurry from City. Great saves from the goalkeeper. Here comes Tatiana Mason.
Playing in Addison. A great little poke forward there by Kayla Addison.
Love that pass from Kayla Addison. Didn't come off, but I just love the composure with which she played it. She kind of almost relaxed when it came into her, and just lovely little layoff with the outside of her foot.
Great effort there from
stuff.
Mia Romeo going off the boards and getting it back once again. Eventually gets it back just off of a missed touch by a visiting midfielder. Claire Serlino all the way back for Detroit City FC. Her Romeo kind of swap places a little bit. Shayna McCarthy, really good job to keep it alive for McCarthy. McCarthy plays in Mia Romeo. Mia Romeo goes for it. Save, but McCarthy again.
Yes.
9-0 Detroit City FC. Shannon McCarthy gets her goal.
Very nice. Very well taken from Shannon McCarthy. Great effort from Mia Romeo to keep that play alive.
And it was, we kind of mentioned what the turning point in this game might have been, and I really do think it was that moment where Shannon McCarthy was sort of pulled to the ground in the visitor team box. I think that's when the team kind of realized, all right,
game
let's
on.
play this
Let's
game.
Do
let's
it.
do
Yeah,
it.
kind of crystallized the effort and the intensity a little bit.
So both benches now will have a chance to talk it over. Detroit City FC bench going to be the happier of the two as McCarthy joins the huddle. And what is Danny Evans saying to her squad right now, knowing the game's over, but there's still 20 minutes left to play.
Yeah, I alluded to it earlier. I think you want to prioritize the future and, get out of this thing with no injuries, no silly moments. Don't give the other team any unnecessary motivation to make it more physical than it needs to be. And yet, you also don't want to fall into bad habits. You can't take your foot off the gas. For one thing, I mean, you want to play good soccer, but it's also you don't want to let the other team back in it and give them belief. So I think, I'm sure her message is sort of a mixed one. Enjoy it. We're in a great spot, but let's keep our focus and let's keep doing things the right way because that's why we've had success up until this point.
And it's sort of a weird, we mentioned the how asymmetrical the schedule was. Oh, does that mean they're the same? Asymmetrical?
I think a little. I meant it in the sense that, in a sense, it's symmetrical because it was like home, away.
Yeah.
But I guess I meant an imbalance of home games. They had all their home games in the beginning.
Okay.
So in that sense, I meant it was skewed because usually games are home and away are intermixed.
Yeah. You're probably the right word, but regardless, it's kind of a weird situation because now Detroit City FC, while it's the last home game, we're only halfway through the year.
Yeah.
And anything can happen on the away games.
Maybe I should have said it's front-loaded with home games.
Maybe.
Top-heavy
Oh, Kyle
Clayton.
Nearly.
What a dodge.
And that's so
that's
just emotional for Kyle Clayton because he nearly got hit by that ball, and we'll see that one. I'm sure that was 3D.
Yeah.
If anyone jumped at home, I do apologize for that.
He may have, jolted a bit, but I think he's so professional, he probably found a way, didn't he, to keep it steady?
Honestly, to hold that shot from Kyle Clayton right there is truly exceptional.
He's an exceptional cameraman.
And it's his first one back. I mean, he was away in New Orleans. His Hannah Crum's going to create space on
Nice
the glass.
move.
Played all the way back inside. Megan Miles looking for her second goal of the evening. Plays back into Hannah Crum. Hannah Crum now assessing the options. Goes for the shot herself. Megan Miles keeps it alive for LaRouge. A great job by Hannah Crum off the board. Hannah Crum now. And back on it once again. She's got to be so frustrated to play against Hannah Crum.
She's really relentless in effort. Should we talk about the music tonight? It is disco night at the Fieldhouse.
It is disco night. Take over by Apartment Disco up in the Fieldhouse after that one. By the way, Shannon McCarthy's playing, and Hannah Crum!
There it is.
10-0, Detroit City FC. It's Hannah Crum scores the goal that she wears on the back of her shirt.
That's right, 10 for 10.
And the last time DCFC scored more than 10, it was Hannah Crum that scored the 10th on that occasion too.
It's her thing. It's her calling card. And leave it to Mackey to find that numerical relevance in it all. Nice goal.
So Detroit City FC, 10-0. Just seconds prior, the crowd chanting, "We want 10."
And
so
they got it.
I mean, they got almost immediately.
Yeah.
So I think the Detroit City FC team's taking requests now.
Ask if and you shall receive. Like. Yeah, I think they're waiting for the next request.
All the way back to the reintroduced Kirsten Williams on that occasion. Before being played into some space, Kayla Addison tried to make a run at the ball but blocked out at the last possible second. Goal difference might play a factor in the Great Lakes division. The Columbus Eagles having a good season and just really mercilessly, destroying opponents. Mercilessly, that one again. Claire Salino's running forward. Kayla Addison in front of goal. Tried to just poke it home.
Good
Amanda
save.
Britton's going to get to it. Plays it back into Addison. A great ball. Addison takes the shot.
Wow. I thought that might have gone in.
Coleman goes for it.
Must have hit the post.
Must have.
From our view, it was really hard to tell. But I love the move from Kayla Addison there. Everybody shifting one way. She goes outside of her foot against the grain, creates a really nice chance for herself.
And a really, great bit of play there by Claire Serlino. Kayla Addison, everyone involved on that occasion did a really great job to keep things going. And right now, Kayla Addison's running at the defense once again. That one's going to come all the way across. Katie Coleman lines up a shot. Back to Coleman yet again, unable to really get that one where she wanted to. Kayla Addison, a great, determination and effort to still try to want to get a goal, even the score being what it is.
Nice move from the Waza number 11 there.
That one's going to be played down the line and blasted eventually up. Kirsten Williams was smart off of her line.
Yep.
3 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Detroit City FC. I mean, we both see the score up there, so it's easy sailing for them so far. Shannon McCarthy has her back to goal. Going to play Lemon Nally in. Lemon Nally tried to just poke it past and out wide. Does well to hang on to the ball there. Megan Miles assessing her options. Lemon Nally now has Amanda Britton and Bella Sabo up with her. Sort of engaged in a physical battle right there, but wins out enough to let Sabo get some possession on the ball. Britton looking for the ball and for her hat trick this evening.
It was dealt with well by Mackenzie Ruber, kind of in a tough spot. She dribbled herself out of trouble and played a nice ball forward.
Williams, a good touch to play in Nolly.
Nice pass.
Lemon Nolly's going to find Sabo. A really good diagonal run from Sabo. Back to Lemon Nolly. Lemon Nolly now creating some space for herself, just unable to have enough space to see a window of a shot. Megan Miles assessing things from the third zone of the pitch. Lemon Nolly now plays some space. Lemon Nolly, the right-footed effort.
That was bound for the upper corner. Nice block from the Waza defender.
And we need, like you said, Lemon Nolly says she doesn't feel like the goal's ever going to come. We almost saw it right there.
I hope she'll get one. That was a nice opportunity for her, and well taken. Just great block from the Waza player.
And now Waza looking to break forward here and get their first goal of the evening. A shot's going to come in here. Williams was down to it. Probably Waza's best attack so far this evening. Definitely best in a little bit here. Hannah Crum's going to play it off the board. Looking for Sabo. Finds Sabo. And now Detroit City FC has numbers 4. Tatiana Mason. Tatiana Mason 1v1 with the defender. Has
Oh,
Megan
nice
Mouse
move.
Tatiana Mason!
Wow, what a move.
Tatiana Mason runs almost the length of the pitch to make it 11-0 for Detroit City FC. And the good times keep rolling here at the Detroit City Fieldhouse.
I was really impressed with that move from Tatiana Mason because it was a classic 2-on-1 situation. You had the Waza defender kind of on skates a little bit, trying to defend, two options. And when Tatiana Mason rolled that ball across her body, I think every indication was she was then going to go outside of the foot pass. But she kind of took advantage of the commitment the other way from the Waza defender. Great finish. Just such a smart one-on-one move in that situation to kind of use the situation in her favor, the 2-on-1. Here they come again.
Claire Serlino now dribbling into some space. Claire Serlino never really able to get anything off of that one, but Hannah Crumb's going to get it back. Played up against the board. Shannon McCarthy in front of the goal now. A great ball by McCarthy.
Oh, cut it out.
And all it needed was the finish. That was absolutely unbelievable.
That would have been
from Shannon McCarthy.
Real nice.
And now Waza, though, is going to have a chance to break forward for the first time in a little while. Waza now up against the glass. Serlino plays that one forward. Hannah Crum giving the chase to it, and really is going to take advantage of this mishap here by the Waza back line.
Nice.
Hannah Crum's dribbling into space. Hannah Crum!
Wow.
12-0.
Clinical.
Hannah Crum scores her third goal of the evening, so a hat trick by Hannah Crum. And Detroit City FC now has scored more goals in this game than they ever have in arena soccer. Looking good at 12-0.
Yep. Clinical finish. Left foot, which is where Hannah Crum's most comfortable. Right into the corner. We saw that thing hit the side netting from our vantage point. Really impressive finish.
Yeah, and a great job by Crum to create the space. It was kind of her work ethic that led to that chance. She pressed her defender, won the ball back. And Detroit City FC, that's awesome from Shannon McCarthy to be able to do that. It's kind of showing off a little bit, but you want to see that, right?
Let's put on a show.
Mia Romeo now playing this one to the feet of Nasser. Nasser, some fancy, clever, quick footwork right there. Played forward, and that's going to bring us to the end of the third quarter. Detroit City FC 12, Detroit Waza 0. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for the final 15 minutes in just a bit. Welcome back to the Detroit City Fieldhouse. Just 15 minutes left in Detroit City FC's homestand in the 2024 Premier Arena Soccer League season. Detroit City FC coming into this final quarter of play, looking really good, up 12-0 here. Dave, what have we seen so far?
Well, we've seen some great soccer. I mean, first and foremost, I think both teams have made this a very exciting, intense game, but City have kind of emerged as the team that's driving things. Some really selfless play from the City players, especially as of late, making that extra pass, looking for the tap-in goal. Just everything's kind of going their way, and they're earning it with good, solid team soccer and a lot of effort on both sides of the ball.
Detroit City FC 12-0, the most goals they've ever scored in arena soccer. Last time they scored more than 10, it was against Zoo City Football Club, an 11-2 victory for Le Rouge on that occasion. Referees making sure everything's settled on both sides as we get ready to get back underway for the final quarter of action. Nasser tried to dribble her way through there. Melissa Kinn's going to play it up. Katie Coleman heading it into a advantageous position for Kayla Addison.
Cut it out. Another
A good one.
polysyllabic.
I don't even know what that means. Polysyllabic. What? What does that even mean?
Multiple syllables. Big word. It's a big word for a big word.
I'm more familiar with the phrase big word than I am.
I should have started there.
Yeah. No, you should have.
But I've been inspired by you.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I've been.
He's trying to think of a word. I can see it in his face. He's trying to think of a big word right there to fill that airtime. I saw it.
Well, you've
still thinking.
You've impressed me at every
That's the
turn,
best part.
Mackie.
That
yeah,
one's
I'm still. While I'm talking.
You should see me play soccer. I clearly wouldn't impress you there.
No, I don't
not like
think that's
these.
true.
Not like this team.
This has been
not
an
like
impressive
the Detroit
showing.
City FC squad this evening. And that one's going to fall to Nasser. Nasser maybe thought about taking the shot, unable to corral it under her feet. And that one's going to be played all the way back. Melissa Kinn now on the ball, playing it into some space for Nasser. Nasser, little step over there from Nasser, plays it back to Miles. Miles is going to get it out wide before being put back into the space by Kayla Addison. Kayla Addison up against the boards, trying to get the ball out of the feet here. That one's going to come in and nearly made it 13-0 here with 13 left to play in tonight's contest. That one's going to be played into space. Kayla Addison throws a foot at it. Keeper unable to corral it. Kayla Addison, again, just unable to get it out of her feet. Back to the final zone of the pitch. Waza now looking to break out for the first time this quarter. Katie Coleman's going to win the ball back for her side. Back inside to Addison.
Nice.
Addison tried to just poke it through to Coleman. All the way back to Nasser.
Look at the way City win the ball back. It's got to be daunting if you're Waza. You finally get the ball, and it's just like 1, 2, 3 defenders collapse on you, and it's gone again. They've really done a nice job closing down after they lose possession. The City players have.
Crum back to goal.
Nice.
Has
What a pass.
Serlino up with her. Claire Serlino's going to let it bounce off the board. Serlino's going to go for it. Eventually coming all the way back out to the top of the zone. It's going to be Fatima Nasser. Fatima Nasser almost went for the right-footed effort. Going to let it go off of the boards there.
Can the people at home hear that the MC Hammer You Can't Touch This is on right now?
I think if they could, we would get copyright.
But that's not what this song is. Look what I've done. Look what I've done.
Dave.
I sensed You Can't Touch This, and I was wrong. It's not.
Thank God we
This
didn't
is
have
Super
Dave.
Freak.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
That's not even the same. The songs live in the same neighborhood, but it's not even close.
Yeah, they're not even neighbors. They're like on adjacent streets at best.
They might be on the other side of the park from each other.
They
I
might.
mean, that's just
Yeah.
that's embarrassing. I'm happy that's not me
Well,
making a mistake like
I
that.
apologize, everyone.
That's crazy. But to your point, though, they can't hear the music because if they did, we'd get copyright striked on YouTube.
That's right.
And then we couldn't put out the
Okay.
great interviews we're putting out. So I'm glad they can't hear it, but just know the second song that Dave Dwayhe said is the one that's playing out loud.
For all people know, I was just making a joke.
Right. No, hey, man, I forgot to laugh. That's how funny it was. That's on me. Yeah.
That wouldn't be the first time that's happened on this broadcast.
It's tough. He's not wrong about that, folks. Waza now has some space in front of them to attack the Detroit City FC goal for the first time this evening, and it's going to result in a shot that Shriver had no issue with.
Good ball.
Really good ball out by Shriver. Has Amanda Britton still looking for her hat trick. Plays in Sabo instead. Sabo's going to turn and get it into an area and toward a player that already has a hat trick this evening in Hannah Crum. All the way out to McCarthy. McCarthy's going to lay it off all the way back to the right. Amanda Britton goes for it.
You can't say enough good things about the distribution we've seen from Gabby Shriver. Almost every time she plays a big ball forward, it's a numbers up break for City. Here come Waza.
Waza now, right-footed strike's going to come in, and Shriver, there's not really been a shot that she struggled with all night, There was that one where she kind of had to extend in there in the second quarter.
Yep.
But for the most part, kind of been her for Calm and Kirsten Williams. Sabo now unable to get onto that one as it kind of just bounces and rolls off of the boards, and Waza looking for a little bit of a lifeline here. That one's going to come all the way out. And eventually, I was going to say cleared away, but Sabo's going to get over to it. Good tenacity from her to keep that one alive. Lamanal is going to go for it. Another shot's going to come in, a great save. But Amanda Britton now looking for her hat trick. A great turn inside by Britton. McCarthy now is going to tee it up for Sabo now.
Oh, such a good pass from Shannon McCarthy. He's found that seam for Bella Sabo.
And it,
really
nice.
Early
on in the match, we saw Detroit City FC doing the simple things at a really high level. Since then, it's been doing the really difficult things at an even higher level.
Yeah, making them look easy. I mean, making them look commonplace. To the one-touch passing, the overlapping runs, getting rewarded. It's really good stuff from City. They got to be enjoying themselves out there.
A great turn, and Shannon McCarthy tried to get it on the rebound right there after the crash up against the boards, and McCarthy's going to hold on to it for her side, coming all the way back out. Tatiana Mason creating the space, going to shoot it herself.
Oh, great save.
And required a great save, but Mason keeping things alive. That one's going to come in. And Katie Coleman for Detroit City FC is going to make it 13-0.
Wow, that was a rocket.
Oh, wait, referee has something to say about it.
If they can take that one back. We got a
if they take that one back, that's unbelievable.
I'll be curious what the call is here. Oh, first shot might have been out of bounds before the rebound. I don't even know if that's a rule. Blue card. I'm so confused.
I think her face kind of says it all. Like, I don't know what the call is.
We'll have to figure that one out another time. And it's unfortunate that we aren't able to celebrate that goal as a goal, because what a strike from Katie Coleman. Looks like there was something that happened right before it.
That's crazy. Well, regardless, we're going into a timeout right now. And the first team to get a blue card tonight has been Detroit City FC on this occasion. So, again, I'm not really too sure what the decision was there. We're kind of Alex Wright showing it us on his laptop right here. We're kind of sorry you guys can't see this at home, but kind of just comes all the way. Yeah. And we'll see it here, actually.
Got a little play
so a really great replay here from Adam Moyet, our producer for this evening. That one's going to just McCarthy. It was in a physical battle, but it went to Mason. That one's going to come all the way out to Sabo. And then Mason, we see Mason calling for it right here. Cuts inside. Everything's good on that occasion.
Oh, it handballed.
Is that a blue card, though?
Well, I'm guessing the blue card, maybe Tatiana Mason said something or laughed.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe the reaction was what warranted the blue card.
It definitely hits her hand. I just don't know if that's blue card worthy. So it wasn't intentional, I don't think.
No. No. Makes you wonder if it was.
And it could have been accumulation.
Oh, yeah. Although, is a handball a foul?
A handball is a foul.
It is.
So maybe that's what it is.
That must be it. Because she seemed pretty confused, and she's not the type of player to dissent. So it must.
She looked fine with it though. Once she was explained to what it was, I think she was like, "Oh, that's
must have been accumulation.
That's tough. We're moving on."
We worked through that. We figured that out.
With a lot of help, we figured that out.
For those of you at home, we've got multiple people giving us direction right now and explanation, and we do appreciate that from our production team.
We just had to see it 3 separate times to figure out what actually happened right there. And thankfully for us, we'll get to see it again. A great job by Mason, though, to cut inside. And then it went off the post. Yeah, okay. So maybe that's what it is. But it sucks that cancels out that great goal from Katie Coleman. Yeah.
Thunderous strike.
What a strike that was.
What a strike.
That would have been one of the goals of the night.
Yeah, for sure. There have been a lot of pretty ones, but that would have been a candidate for the top.
I think you mentioned you had a shout-out you wanted to get through.
I did. Thanks for the reminder. So
actually, we'll pause that for 1 second. The shot's going to come in, and nearly a 13th for Detroit City FC. Still alive, though, from LaRouche. Fatima Nasser's going to play it all the way across, and that one's in.
That is a goal.
Katie Coleman, she saw the goal. She saw the goal ruled out just seconds prior, and then goes down the other end of the pitch. Smile on the face on the penalty kill.
Yep.
Detroit City FC is going to add a shorthanded goal to their repertoire this evening.
And a great pass, great look from Fatima Nasser, winning that ball, playing it square, and a great finish, tucked away nicely by Katie Coleman. Now they'll continue to be a player down.
So 9 minutes to play here for Detroit City FC and Detroit Waza. This one's kind of been over for a majority of the game, but still it's good to see Detroit City FC have the fight, the attitude to go out, and we've seen this all season from them, that there's no quit in this team despite what's going on in the score.
No, they're always going to push it.
And you want to end on a good note for the home crowd.
Yeah, for sure. You don't want to end, you don't want to end lazy. You want to end with the flurry.
Personally, I wish this was a Pride Raiser game. My bank account doesn't.
Yeah.
But I personally wish this was a Pride Raiser game.
Yep, that would be nice. We will have those opportunities this summer. Nice run from Lemma. Let's see if she can get herself a goal here.
Lemonali driving into some space. Lemonali's going to try to cut back inside. We've seen that cutback for Detroit City FC been useful all evening for them.
Creating space for themselves and working against the grain really nicely.
Space, time. They've been creating everything.
Yeah, they've.
And sorry, we didn't get through your shout-out.
That's okay. I was just going to say, can I hop in and just say a warm hello to my good friend, to a good friend of the entire club, Walter Schrowen, viewing from Puerto Rico. Sent word that he was following the broadcast. He's been at many, many Detroit City games, both on the men's and women's side over the years. A fantastic supporter of the club, a heck of a good guy, a fantastic referee, and does a lot to support the game on the local level. And just someone that I've really enjoyed getting to know over the years as a supporter of Detroit City FC, and wanted to say hello.
Two things. One, when he was telling me this, and that one's going to come across a great block there to keep the clean sheet alive for Detroit City FC. When Dave was telling me this in the intermission, I thought he said, I have a friend watching from Puerto Rico. I thought he said Home Depot. And I was like, how are you at Home Depot watching the broadcast?
Yeah, and then I reminded Mackie that earlier in the season, he made a fantastic Home Depot
He's trying
reference
to make up for this.
Part of a joke, and I didn't respond. I alluded to this earlier in the broadcast. I did not respond to the joke. I kind of zoned out at the wrong time, and I still do feel really bad about that.
And it's funny. Like I was making sure we were gonna get that shout out in. But once we were distracted by the goal, John Mackey sent me a text and said David never did his shout-out. So
thanks, John.
Yeah, so we were covered either way.
Appreciate that, making sure that happened. And I know Walter's watching.
And that's a great ball over the top if Mia Romeo can chase it down. Detroit City FC back to full strength now. The penalty is over, and penalty kill, scoring a goal in a penalty kill is never a bad thing.
No.
A great turn there along the boards. Man, the Britain's going to go for the shot. Nearly sneaks its way through. Mia Romeo throws a foot at it.
And led up at the last second, which I appreciate, and I'm sure the Waza players do too. There's no need to be too aggressive at this point in the game. You want to get everybody out of here unscathed.
Shannon McCarthy doing a great job defending there. Gets a foot in at the
tackle.
last second, enough to put the defender off. Melissa Kin having some defending to do up against the boards. A great turn inside. That shot's going to come in, and Shriver's quick to it. Tatiana Mason is, kind of standing over the ball back on the pitch. I'm sure she's delighted.
Yeah, so much composure there from Tatiana Mason. They had her in a tough spot. She had two Waza players nearby, and she just pulled it out, went the other way, and look, another 3-on-2 going the other way.
And Sabo's in so much space now. Bella Sabo's going to have the shot.
Good save.
Back all the way to the end of the board here. Mia Romeo's doing some pressure on the ball. Shannon McCarthy dictating how the back line's going to look. McCarthy's going to have it bounce off the boards, and all the way back to Shriver we go with 5 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in Detroit City FC's last PASL home match of the season. A great ball over the top nearly finds the entering Addison as she comes into the match for the time being.
Now, we've been talking about how this is the last home game of the season. This is not the last game of the season that will be played at the Fieldhouse.
That's true. That's definitely true with the reverse leg of this fixture.
Yep.
It's been funny. All game I've been calling Detroit Waza the visiting team, but this is also their home field.
Yep, they will play their home games here. And so for those of you tuning in from home, if you were thinking, I didn't get a chance to watch this team live and in person, I believe on March 2nd.
Ooh, maybe.
I believe it's March 2nd.
Mason's going to play an Addison. Kayla Addison in front of goal, puts the keeper
That's a goal.
down and goes for it. Kayla Addison adds the 14th goal of the evening. Number 9, Kayla Addison, take a bow. And with you now, do you get 15?
Yeah, you want to just keep scoring if you can. It's the right thing to do. It's keep playing the game.
And the crowd, good on them, sticking around to see this one out, and because they know it's the last one of the year too. And I don't think anyone in here is going to be happy about this being the last one.
That's right.
I wish we could do 5 more.
I would love to. I'd love nothing more.
It's big talk from Dave. Shows up with 45 minutes before the game, puts a headset on. That's all he does.
That's right. I got it easy.
Yeah.
I could keep doing this every weekend. But I was going to say, on that March 2nd date, I believe Waza kind of becomes the home team technically. They're hosting the game here, so if you want to come watch the game, it won't have the same production around it that these home games have, but it sure
Still be some great
fun.
soccer, though.
Yeah.
That one's going to come in, sort of a toe poke there at the last possible second before it comes all the way back out to Katie Coleman. Coleman tried to tee up Romeo. They are unable to do so. Romeo, Serlino, and Megan Miles, have some defensive work to do. 14. Not every day you see 14 to nothing.
No, it's been a goal fest for City.
Referee is going to say there's a timeout for Detroit City FC. Danny Evans taking the timeout here. What do you think Danny Evans took that timeout for? What do you think she's saying to the squad?
Well, one thing I wonder if maybe she's trying to make a goalkeeper change. It's possible she wants to get Kirsten Williams out there, and you need to kind of stop the clock to do that for a goalie sub. But I also think it's a nice opportunity for her to just check in one more time, remind everyone of what's important at this point in the game, encourage them to finish the game strong like we've been talking about, but also to be smart and responsible and be gracious in victory.
More fun in the chat going on tonight.
Yeah.
Aaron Bowie in the chat saying he's confused the referee pulled out a blue card instead of a red or a yellow. Obviously, indoor soccer going with the blue card. Yep. So hope that kind of
just one of the many things that kind of distinguishes the outdoor and the indoor game.
Without that, I mean, it would be unrecognizable.
Yeah.
Huge shout out to everyone that's helped out with our broadcast this season. Of course, Kyle Clayton holding it down in the center camera, 5 out of 5 stars.
Yes, would
Chris
recommend.
Mills there last week, kind of a shaky performance, but and then everyone on the production crew, as you mentioned it, Dave, and I think what a genius call by you. Goalkeeper change for Detroit City FC. Kirsten Williams comes into the match for the 3rd time this evening.
Well, the timing was interesting. I noticed Gabby Shriver was in goal. You could tell at this point in the game, Danny Evans is going to want to reward Kirsten Williams with an opportunity to play, and the game just wasn't giving her that opportunity. Unlike field players who change on the fly, your goalkeeper change needs to be done with a stoppage of play, and so I think it was a really nice gesture from her to give her backup goalkeeper an opportunity to finish this game out.
And Dave, tell me I'm wrong. I think Gabby Shriver's numbers might have been gold, whereas Kirsten Williams' number on the back of her kit's white.
Yes, that's a astute
That one's
observation.
coming across. Mia Romeo's going to go for it and finds the
Ooh,
back
it's a
of the
goal.
net. Mia
It's a
Romeo
goal.
makes it 15-0 here at the Detroit City Fieldhouse.
It's a nice finish.
Wow. You run out of words.
Yeah,
And that's huge for Mia Romeo. I'm so happy she was able to get that goal.
For sure.
Worked hard all night, all season, all home season so far. And yeah, really glad to see her get the goal and get the applause she deserves this evening.
Yeah, and she's put in quite a shift tonight. Like up and down the field, she's been as strong defensively as we've seen her in this PASL season, and she's made some really nice runs forward. So it's nice to see her rewarded with a goal.
Oh, Kyle Clayton again.
He's smooth. He's just comfortable up there. He doesn't.
Oh, he didn't really hold the shot too well that time.
Really,
I will
yeah.
say the first time he did great. That time was, but that's an expensive camera. So
Hey, you get to this point in the game, you probably get a little complacent. Understandably.
Yeah.
It's almost over. He wants to show us.
But
that
he's the
human.
only one on the field getting complacent. He really is.
But he wants to show, how humble is the guy to show a moment.
That one's gonna come in.
Great save.
And yet again, and
Anya
that's the end of the
Dow.
clean sheet. And
Hey.
yeah, that's a good. Congrats, Dave.
Thanks. That's a player I had the pleasure of coaching, and a well-deserved goal for Anya Dow. She's been very strong tonight offensively. She's been on the end of a lot of good chances, and it was a really nice finish from her. Well done, Anya. If you're watching this game back, I'm proud of you.
Good, a little consolation goal never hurt anybody.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Got announced there over the broadcast. So a local player with her ties to Liggett University School. Where does the university come from in that?
Well, I think the order is University Liggett School, and it's got a long history. A number of schools had kind of merged in the past. Grosse Pointe University School merged with a school called Liggett.
Okay.
And that's a little bit of the background, but
what is the word the thing that
that's
trips
I'm not
me up is
answering
the
your
word
question.
university. Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder where that came from originally.
Because it's a
Grosse
high
Pointe
school.
University. Right, it is. It's a K through 12
Okay.
independent school. But, university is a part of its name from way back when.
So you can just call anything a university and get away with it?
I think so. A lot of, the common mistake is that people call it University of Liggett, when in actuality it's University Liggett School. And people kind of confuse it with a college for that reason. But
It's not bad.
No, it's a nice thing to be
It's
confused
unfortunate.
with.
Yeah, you don't want. Yeah.
And then I teach math in high school, so I can tell people that I'm a professor.
Oh.
When in actuality, I'm very much not.
You can get away with that.
Yeah.
You put that in the LinkedIn. You put.
Yeah. Who am I to correct them if that's the assumption they make?
That's awesome.
Good win from Shannon McCarthy there.
Mia Romeo, really good job to settle that one down. The most recent goal scorer of tonight's contest. Good job, a little shove in the back there. Lamanali's going to get over to it. Shannon McCarthy now receiving the ball, and
here comes Anya Dow again. Nice ball forward.
Advantageous situation. Hannah Crumb's getting over to play some defensive work up against the boards. Not really seen a lot of action on the boards this evening as compared to the other matches, but really, you really needed it if you're Detroit City FC.
I think they've just carried the play so comfortably. They've had possession. They've been able to spread it out. They haven't even really needed to get too close to the boards. They've used the boards to good effect. Some of their passing off the boards has been awesome, but for the most part, game's been in the open part of the field. Here
Mia
comes
Romeo, look at that speed to get onto that one. Mia Romeo has Amanda Britton up with her. Amanda Britton still in search.
Mia Romeo is quick and fast. It's a rare, some players are one or the other. I think she's kind of got both in her toolbox.
Definitely, and sometimes she doesn't need it because, oftentimes the deepest player back for Detroit City FC. But when she's been forward tonight, you can really see that on display this evening at the Fieldhouse.
She has a gear she can kick into. Big part of the reason, no doubt, that she's been a national team pool player for Trinidad and Tobago. Has international soccer experience and really brings a lot, especially with her athleticism and effort out there.
And as the clock runs down, Dave, I'm getting sadder by the second that this is the last ride of this PASL home season, with you on the broadcast. Again, huge thanks to everyone who's tuned in tonight at any other point in the season. Everyone that's helped out on the camera team, the media department, as well as the producers we've had this year. It's been a great season for us here at home.
It sure has. It's been an honor to join you on these broadcasts, and so grateful for the support from those at home tuning in. And, hey, let's look forward. I mean, there's a lot of season ahead, obviously, but in terms of the broadcast, I'm looking forward to 2025.
Detroit City FC the other day unveiling the USLW League schedule. So this isn't the end of women's soccer for Detroit City FC for 2024. Can't wait for that outdoor season. I was hoping Kayla Addison got a goal there so we'd have more time to vamp a little bit. But Detroit City FC opening their outdoor season at home on March 23rd against Loudoun United at Keyworth Stadium in a 4 p.m. kickoff. Get your tickets for that one. Definitely going to be a great time being back at Keyworth, seeing the squad under new head coach Danny Dicchio. And then the women kickoff May 11th on the road to Flint City AFC. So see Dave Dwahey at that one.
That's right. I'll be there. Looking forward
to it. The worst kept secret ever that Dave Dwahey's coming back as the USLW League head coach. But nonetheless, there goes the final whistle. Detroit City FC besting Detroit Waza FC by a score of 15-1 in the home finale for La Rouge. Detroit City FC has a couple of away matches to get through before this season comes to a close. Amanda Britton named tonight's Woman of the Match. Couple of goals, an assist or two out of her as well. It's kind of tough because you could have given that award to anybody this evening, Dave.
Yeah, it really was a full team performance from Detroit City FC. Everyone got involved. Everyone was in on a goal in one way, shape, or form. And defensively, a really strong effort. Only conceding one goal at the very end there. They were locked in tonight. And, you could have forgiven them for kind of taking a step down after that huge win over Cincinnati last week. I think they kept their level extremely high. Really good sportsmanship on display, too, as well. We've seen a couple of the players acknowledge the crowd. And we mentioned this Waza team is filled with local players, so a lot of them will know each other on the pitch. And Danny Evans, giving it to her squad, letting them know how appreciated that work performance was tonight. Yeah, most definitely. The game is a lot different for the players when you don't have this kind of support. And the way they feed off the crowd, the energy that's provided, it's a really big part of the game and the experience. And as you mentioned, these players are really grateful for it. Great job there by social media specialist Jordan Campbell to get in and film that sort of fire-up team talk there from Danny Evans. Hopefully we see that video on Detroit City FC socials sometime soon. And Danny Evans instructing her players to go through the tunnel and kind of get their moment tonight, to try to make things end on a good note here. Yeah, and the crowd staying to give them that moment. So Detroit City FC closes out their string of home matches with a dominance, not the word. I almost want to Google a thesaurus for the word dominant.
because that was something out of Le Rouge this evening.
It was a complete performance. They were in total control. Even early in the game when the goals weren't quite coming, they just really had that about them tonight where they were going to win and they were going to do it.
Kirsten Williams getting everyone in the squad pushing her toward the lead of this pack. Appreciate you guys, everyone tuning in this evening and all season long. It's been a great journey with this team. I think a lot more than people thought we were going to have this season with this PASL squad. No one knew what to expect, but year one, already a success for Detroit City FC, and I think even that's an understatement.
It's been awesome. Super well received. The support has been consistent and outstanding. The players really enjoying every minute of it, and gave the crowd something to enjoy tonight. That was a special performance.
Thank you guys again so much for tuning in all season long. I've been Jarrett Mackey alongside David Dwayhe. We'll see you in March for the USL Championship, guys. Have a great night.
Good night.